Hi there, Chris McLean here, founder of Business Accelerator Academy at bizexcelacademy.com, and today I am undertaking the 7 Things You Didn't Know About Me challenge. Some of you guys might have seen that flying around Facebook at the moment. I've been nominated by, I think, 3 people in the SFM business community, and I think 3 nominations is the maximum number you can have without actually doing a response video, so therefore I'm doing that today. I think it's a really good way to get to know people, and I'll share this with you guys so you can get to know a bit more about me as well. And yeah, I guess I'll just get into it. So the first thing that you might not know about me is that I was actually born in Frankston in Melbourne, Australia, which may not mean anything to anybody who doesn't live in Melbourne, Australia. But for those of you who do, Frankston's, how do you say, not the most prestigious of suburbs. That's where my mum's side of the family grew up and came from. So I have permanently etched in my passport, much to my dismay, place of birth is Frankston. So Frankston's a little bit ghetto, I guess, is the best way to put that. So I'm permanently from Frankston. So that follows me around everywhere, which is awesome. Number 2 thing that you didn't know about me is that I actually used to live in New York State. I lived there for 4 years, from the ages of about 3 till 7, and I still vividly remember that house. I remember the layout, and I have an exact floor plan of that in my head, including the blue stairway leading up into the attic room and the huge glass pillar downstairs in the basement that my brother sliced himself open with by running into it. So I have vivid memory of that, and I still remember the address. It's 1115 North Avenue, New Rochelle, New York. So if anyone's out that way, you can pop by and check out my old house. And when I do come and visit the States, when I go visit New York, I'll definitely pop out and have a look at the old house. I've looked it up on Google Earth, actually, on Street View, and it looks pretty much the same. It's got some fencing and stuff around it now. Obviously, that was the early 80s that I was living out there, so it's quite a long time ago now. But yeah, the house is still there, so I'll go check that out when I'm in New York next, which could be next month actually. I could be out to do some masterminding next month. Number 3 thing that you didn't know about me is I've actually lived in 4 countries altogether, aside from the States and Australia, where I was born, and most of my life I lived in Australia. I've also lived in the UK twice. Once when I was way too young to remember. I was a few months, 6 months to a year old or something. I don't really remember that. And now I live in the UAE, in Abu Dhabi. So 4 countries in total. And who knows, I'll hopefully add to that. From here on out, I can't see myself being in the UAE forever. Although I enjoy the heat, as you can see, it's quite nice and sunny today, even though it's winter. It's getting quite hot again now, which is nice. So maybe I'll add Europe or something nice like that to the resume. Number 4, the 4th thing that you didn't know about me is that I suck at math. Could have something to do with moving around a lot, being schooled in different school systems when I was young. But basically, I just sucked at math all the way through high school. By the time I came back from the States, I was always behind. So maths was never a strong suit for me. Even today, just to add up 10 plus 12, I use a calculator. So thanks to technology helps me out with that. So that's I get along a lot easier these days. But school and maths was pretty tough for me. I always hated it. I could never find X. It was always pretty hard to find. The 5th thing, the actual 5th thing that you don't know about me is actually the meaning of my tattoo here. I get asked a lot, obviously. It's especially in this country where, in the Middle East, where you don't see a lot of big tattoos. So basically, this was a piece that I had done 2.5 years ago, and it's actually a commemorative piece for my father, who passed away from brain cancer, from a brain tumor back in 2012. And he had, I don't know how well you can see it, but this Chinese symbol here is the symbol for dragon. And Dad was born in the year of the dragon. and he actually had that tattoo on his left arm, which he got when he lived in the UAE for a while, and when he returned from the UAE, he had that tattoo done on his left arm, and that's how I ended up with this tattoo. Originally, I wanted to just do the same thing and just have just have the symbol and maybe a little dragon around it, but the artist convinced me to do a whole sleeve, and it worked out pretty cool. So I'm pretty happy with that. But that's the meaning. I also, under here, I have a couple of other symbols. One of which is sort of longevity, and one of which is the symbol for the horse, which I was born in the year of the horse. So basically it means me and my dad together forever. So I carry him with me forever on my arm. That's really important to me, and that's a main reason that I actually got into affiliate marketing, the SFM and online business. That was my driver. After Dad passed away, I realised that life's just too damn short to fuck around in a job that you don't like, doing work that you're not passionate about, that you don't enjoy. So it was a huge driver for me to try something new and transition into more of a lifestyle business that gave me a bit more freedom and ability to follow my passion. So number 6, the sixth thing that you don't know about me is that actually I've never had a 9-to-5 job. The closest thing I had was out of uni. I worked a few bar jobs. They're not really 9-to-5 jobs. I worked in reception centres and bars and that kind of thing. So they were more late day shifts. But basically straight out of university at the age of 22, I started my first business, and that's the agency that I still run today, that has transitioned and gone through various stages of ownership and different partners and that kind of thing. But yeah, it was 2012 when I was 22 years old. I started that business straight out of uni. So I don't actually have a resume. I've never written a resume. I think I wrote one once to get a bar job. But I don't actually have a professional resume. I've never had a 9-to-5 job, and that's a huge driver for me, because I never got into it because I always kind of hated that idea of sitting in a cubicle. Just 9-to-5 to me is just the movie Office Space. If you know that movie Office Space, fantastic movie. But that's just mine. Whenever I think of a 9-to-5 career, that's what I think about: sitting in a cubicle with little photos of my family stuck up in all the places that I wish I could afford to or have the time to go and visit, but can't because I'm stuck in a shitty job. So yeah, that's the 7 things. Actually, no, that's 6 things. And the last thing, the 7th thing that you didn't know about me, is that I have 3 rescue pets. So my little furry family here in the UAE, my girlfriend and I have rescued 3 animals. First, we rescued our dog Harley from the shelter. We went and picked him up, and my girlfriend fell in love with him. He was just looking sad in the back corner somewhere, and something connected, and we just had to bring him home. And then one day at work, our kitten Wrigley jumped out of a bush and attached himself to her leg, and he came home with us. And then earlier, about a month ago, we came across a little guy on one of the rescue sites on Facebook, and a beautiful little puppy, and we now have Calvin, who's a 4-month-old puppy who you might be able to hear. He's just here actually. So this is Calvin. Calvin's about 4 months old now, and he's part of our family. So he's sort of the final piece. He wants to go. He's the final piece in our family now. So 3 animals is quite enough for us. So yeah, that's my 7th thing. I love my animals. They're my family. And yeah, I'm a big supporter of rescue animals. I really hate the idea of pet farms and pet stores. So if you do like pets and you want to go get a pet, go down to your local shelter and get a rescue pet, because they're amazing. They'll love you forever, and they got much more personality. They're great little animals to have. So that's me. I'm going to tap out around the 10-minute mark to keep it as brief as possible. I'm going to nominate a few people to carry on the tradition. I hope you've learned a little bit more about me, who I am, where I come from, a few things about me. And I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Thanks for watching. Bye.